So you might remember, if you're a loyal viewer, that the first couple of weeks here at GBNews were slightly torrid, to say the least, as many folk, this is going to be my projection on it anyway, just couldn't accept that there was a new kid on the block to challenge the orthodoxy of the European Union and lockdown-loving, British-bashing corporation and Sly News. And one of the more, I guess I'd say, interesting conversations that I had in those early days was with our former chairman. Very briefly, you might remember, he was the 8 p.m. presenter, the lead-in to me, Andrew Neil, about our coverage of Brexit. And just like most members of the Ramona establishment, Mr. Neil, who you might remember liked to smoke cigars late night with the likes of Tony Blair at London mansions, thought that it was an issue that was just done and dusted and that GB News simply shouldn't be talking about it. It was paranoia, he told me, to believe that there were anti-democratic forces out to overturn the result of the biggest democratic mandate in British history. Well, like most of his predictions, Mr. Neil got that one very wrong. Tonight, London's failed Mayor Sadiq Khan launches Labour's secret bid to get the ball rolling. In his always unhinged keynote annual speech at London's Mansion House government dinner in the City of London shortly, Sadiq Khan is expected to indicate he can no longer hold the official Labour Party line on respecting the vote. And he will advocate for a return to the single market. So here's what he's expected to say. After 2 years of denial and avoidance, we must now confront the hard truth. Brexit isn't working. We need greater alignment with our European neighbours, a shift from this extreme hard Brexit we have now to a workable version that serves our economy and people. That includes, here we go, having a pragmatic debate about the benefits of being part of the customs union and the single market. Now, of course, that's the line Mr. Khan has been developing over the last year.
Should the Labour Party at a national level be agitating for rejoining the single market?
I believe we should. Spot on. Worse, that's the biggest piece of self-inflicted harm ever done to a country, leaving the European Union.
That's democracy, mate. Khan will also say London should be able to develop its own immigration policy so migrants can flood the capital. Now, publicly, Keir Starmer says the issue of Brexit is settled. But given he is the biggest Ramona in the Labour Party, it's hard not to think once in power he will be swayed by the EU obsessives like Khan. And personally, I will never forget, and I will keep on reminding you just how much Starmer wanted to undermine democracy.
Our options must include campaigning for a public vote, and nobody is ruling out Remain as an option. We've agreed that it must be subject to another referendum.
Let's try it out now. So the Tories say, we're out. The Lib Dems say, we're staying. Labour says,
if you vote for Labour, the public will decide in a referendum.
And there's now only one way. Whether in this government or the next, put it to the people.
Will the Labour front bench actually be putting down an amendment for a referendum and then vote for it?
I think it's more likely that it'll come from the backbench because almost every victory we've had...
Will Labour back it then?
Yes. There's only one way to solve this. This has to go back to the people. And Labour says, let's get it away from the politicians, put it back to the public.
Yeah. But Labour's position, 3 sentences, get a better deal than his, put it up against Remain in a referendum and do that within 6 months.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Neil, Brexit remains under threat. And I'm going to keep fighting for it against hysterical ideologues like Sadiq Khan.